Hi everybody, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss two very important extensions to VS Code, Prettier and Live Server. And you've actually already interacted with both of these without perhaps knowing it. They were built in, they were available by default in the previous project that you did that had the editor built into the platform. But now we have to make sure that they're set up and working on our own. Oops, let me get rid of. Oh no, yeah, leave that. All right. Um, so we'll go to VS Code. You may have already installed some or both of these extensions, but if not, go to here in the sidebar. This is the extensions, and search for Prettier, and this is the one that you need, the first one that pops up, and then search for Live Server. And this is the one that you should install. The other ones, like this one, does pretty much the same thing. This one, but using this one, it'll be more consistent because this is what we assume everybody is using. All right. So how do these work? Well, first, um, live server. So here you can open the files with Command Shift E or Control Shift E, or just clicking this icon. And you see I have this folder open. This folder contains an index.html file. I can open it with Live Server with this button down here, but this will assume that we're in the correct directory. So if, for example, I didn't actually have this folder opened, if I just had this, because you can open an HTML file in VS Code without having this open, without having the folder that contains it open. If you do that and you try to do this and there's no HTML file in the folder that is open, well, it's not going to work right. So it's perhaps more reliable to right click on the file and select open with Live Server. And so there we go. It popped it up for me. And this is what we'll be working with in the first stage. You see down here, it says this is where it's running, port 5555. You see how it says port, it says 5555? This part indicates that it's running on localhost. This is on a local server. That's what that number means, basically. It's, for the most part, equivalent with the term localhost. And so they do the same thing. The index.html part is usually optional. So you see it works without it. And another thing to note, it opened in my default browser, which is Chrome. But if I didn't want to use Chrome, like for instance, for the most part, I use Vivaldi. I think Vivaldi is my default editor. I probably have some settings set up to make it appear on Chrome with Live Server. But so you can just type in localhost colon whatever port it's on, and you can open it in any browser that you want. So that's Live Server. Uh, Pretty simple. Prettier is perhaps a little more complicated and more interesting, I would think. So what does Prettier do? Well, it formats your code. So, for example, say I'm doing some work, I've been typing, and things are getting a little bit messy. It's a lot harder to understand what is going on with this code. It's actually a lot harder. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it might not seem as obvious to you now as it will once you get used to seeing correctly structured code. It's hugely beneficial once you understand the structure. So if I just save the file with Command S, it just gets it back into a very nice format for me. So this is better. it's not just to make it look prettier. This is really functional. It's one case where mm, uh, I was trying to think of a metaphor, but failed. But it's one case where the what something looks like can really impact how easy it is to understand it and to work with it. So it's very important. Now, um, even more than that, Prettier can help you to detect bugs. And the sooner you detect a bug, the easier it is to fix. Because, for example, say I am doing some work and I accidentally, well, here I'm gonna say, it's been getting a little messy. I haven't saved the file in a while, right? And then I'm doing some work and I accidentally delete a character like I just did there. And then I continue on and do some more work. And now I save the file. Prettier does not format. If there are syntax errors, Prettier won't format because it can't really. It doesn't really know how to format it because the syntax is invalid. You'll see this red thing here. The Prettier icon turns red, and you can get information about what the issue is by clicking here. It'll open the problems tab, and there's a whole lot of this, which is not very useful, but it shows you this. It says syntax error, unexpected closing tag UL. It may happen when the tag has already been closed by another tag. But this is not really a helpful error message, I don't think. Not especially helpful because you can look at the UL and it's fine, right? Now, in this case, maybe we're like, okay, the closing tag of the UL looks fine. Maybe there's a problem with the opening tag. And if we inspect it closely, we can see, oh yeah, we're missing something, right? So in that sense, it is useful. But if you are frequently saving the file, I do it pretty quickly. Just a quick Command S to make Prettier format to make sure I'm not introducing any errors. As soon as you see that there's an error, well, the error probably occurred right around where you've been working. And you have a much smaller area to search for issues. You don't even need to go here usually. I almost never do when working on code. It just doesn't seem it's not really necessary. So now I'm just like, oh, I know where the error is. I can fix it, then save the file, and everything is good. But then imagine if you're not doing that, if you let a syntax error happen, then just keep on working. I see this all the time with new students. They just keep on working. They might build an entire web page, and then they can't submit the file because there's an error, a syntax error, and you have to search through the entire file, all the code to find it. So save your code frequently, make sure that Prettier approves, and it will make your life a lot easier. One other thing that I'll just note though is there are other tools that can help you to recognize errors that are built in and to VS Code and to most editors. Pay attention to the coloration. Um, Note how all the tags, the tag names, and the angle brackets that compose them are the same color. All the attributes, class, SRC, oh, they're all the same color. All the attribute values are the same color. So this is quite standard. The exact colors will vary. There are very many different color palettes to choose from. But in general, they will color things roughly the same. All the attributes will have the same, all these values will have the same color, etc. And if you make a mistake, that can clue you in that there's an issue here because I'm seeing that, well, I know this is a class, right? This is supposed to be it's supposed to be blue. It's supposed to be colored like this, but it's not. And so that tells me, without even trying to format it with Prettier, that I've done something wrong. And so syntax highlighting is really a marvelous thing. And when you get used to recognizing it, how it works, it can really save you a lot of time and a lot of headaches. So before I leave, I just want to point something out that in this file, in this VS Code folder, we've provided this for the first project. In the next sprint, you won't get this, so you'll have to set this up on your own. Meaning you'll have to add these settings to your global configuration. We'll explain how to do that when the time comes, but I just want to point out that if these settings weren't in place, then Prettier would not be formatting the way that it is. You would still be able to, with the extension installed, right click on a document and select to format it. You can do that um, without these settings, but it's these settings that are ensuring that VS Code um, automatically formats. So like these tell it what languages to format. This tells it to automatically format when you save the document. All right, that's everything. Next video, we're actually going to start to code.